Why do we train athletes, right? I think this is a question that we have to understand. Systematically, I don't feel like there have been many systems that have actually been developed for athletes. I feel like we've taken properties of wellness and incorporate those into an athletic system, right? This is the first system I saw personally where I felt like it was all about the athlete. This is not, you can do it for wellness, but it's not a wellness system. This is about enhancing athletic performance to the highest level, right? And it's still progressing. And I think that what we need to understand is your biggest muscle is your brain. This is not a plyometric system. It stopped being that a few years ago. This is a nervous system. This is a brain system. And this is where we're formulating the rest of Mcginty's training and this system. We are formulating it to adapt to the brain. The coach is the key. The coach is the facilitator. And if the coach is not strong, quick, slick, fast, smooth, neither will the athlete be. And so we have to learn how to incorporate the neurological aspect with everything. And that's my pure, and that's, I don't care if it's pull work. I don't care if they're running on the field. You got to give them that, especially the stop-start athletes, the decelerating athletes, the guys, the basketball players, the football players, the soccer players. These guys need it. That being said, I was going to bring a professional boxer out who's #1 ranked bantamweight in America. He had to do a guest appearance somewhere. And I got lucky because we held my sprinter out this week. I am not a sprint coach. I don't claim to be. Let's go, Siobhan. I'll tell you something. Yeah. Come this way. All right. Ready? Short and quick. Go! Let's go. That's all right. Yep. Side to side, forward and back. Down the middle, feet in. Feet out, feet in, left leg. Left leg side to side. Right leg side to side. Down the middle. Let's go. Draw an X. X, both on the ground. Both on the ground. Short and quick, short and quick. Feet open, feet close, box. Quarter box, kill, 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 kill. All right. So, the swiftness of the brain. How quick can they calibrate the call? How can they adjust? How can they mess up and readjust? Everything has to be facilitated through the speed of sport. And that's the first word that I heard, or phrase I heard from the Mcginty's. Train at the speed of sport or faster. You don't have to worry about all the other stuff. There is an issue going on. I was a middle school teacher for 13 hard, painstaking, pulling my hair out type things. One of those situations where you tell them 10 lines of 10, and 6 months later, they still can't line up in 10 lines of 10. This is what I dealt with for 13 years. And so you get a different level of patience with that, right? There's a different level of patience, but I start to look at some things. I start seeing that one kid that nobody can stop, and we go through an off-season program where we're lifting 4 days a week, and all of a sudden that kid's getting tackled the next year. Did kids really mature that fast, or did the best athlete put in the most work, get the thickest, get the biggest, has the best genetics, and slowed his system? Well, there's nothing else to compare it to, because there are no other systems really to compare it to, right? I don't agree with certain things, slow eccentric loads. What happened here is this athlete jumped out. She hasn't warmed up. That is warm up. That's warm up. That is warm up, right? You can't jog around. Like we just heard the last two great speakers. Why are we jogging around a track? Why are you pacing 2,000 steps back into the mechanic to let your system, the computer, the brain, no emotion, brain, computer? Why are we pushing this kind of data back in the brain to tell them, oh, we can go 60%. It's okay. 50% is good. Get the blood going, right? And then we got to make split-second decisions against world-class athletes, 11 of them on the field. We're putting them in a detriment. To me, it's unsafe. The violence is keeping them safe. The violence is needed, right? And so you have to get to a point to where they don't even know what that is anymore. It's weird to jog. It's weird to warm up slow. It's weird to progress into that. They have to hit the gate running, because I guarantee you this, everybody in here, you're only performing at about 80% even at your peak. You know, I know that because I put a pit bull behind you, things would change. If I had a gun to your head, things would change, right? Lady's car flips over, baby gets under the car, she picks the car up. Things changed. That's in you somewhere. We just hadn't tapped into it. And until we push to the next level, till we push to the next degree point of training evolution and change some things up, we won't really know where we can progress. I may be wrong. I may be wrong, but I'm going to follow one thing, 0.15. That's the principle. The moment of coupling. That is fact. If you can transfer force at the point of the stop, which is the isometric concentric point, this is where if I'm loading force, it's eccentric or the yielding phase. At some point that has to stop. We have to reverse that. That stopping point is the key. If you're 0.15 tenths of a second, you've gained automatic elastic energy. If you're over that, you lost it. It's that simple, and it's that quick, and it's that minute. And this is only at the start to transfer, right? So we have to look at that in every element of what we do. Everything. I don't give a damn if it's a pinky toe. We don't scrunch towels slow. And I have people that, and I think this is one of them, that can do 25 pounds on towel scrunches. And we burn that out quick, and you cut it. When you start seeing it break down, you cut it. That's it. It's a simple philosophy. Right here, that was almost too long. Because I need to get, this is a 10-second runner, or somebody just trying to break 11, right? We have to look at that, and how's our system taking it? What'd you do the other day? You did pull-ups, didn't you? Yeah. How many times we did a plyo pull-up? So she's jumping off of and catching. How many times we done that? Once. How many reps you did? About 12? Somewhere around 12, right? And from different exchange points. She won't do that much. It's not a running move. It proves something to the other two athletes that were there. You know what it proved? Elite sprinter, elite nervous system. Elite nervous system goes everywhere. It's not just her running. Her arms, her brain, everything is calibrated for it. She can't do things another way. She doesn't know another way, right? So this is what I want to talk about, a couple things. The foot. The foot. Can I get a volunteer? Somebody barefooted? Let me see. Right in my face. You ready? Right in my face. I ain't got no fetish. You good. Watch this. Sit down. So sit down real quick. Watch this carefully. Okay. So I'll go through a few different things here. We heard some great things from Kula about, dorsiflexion, things like that. So I go through a range of tests. So I actually have Kristen McCaffrey's backup right now. So I'm going to show him doing a drill. It's on his first week. He had a Liz Frank surgery. I noticed when he got on the balance pipes, which you'll see here in a minute, he had about a 2-inch depreciation difference going down on the side we had the surgery. Well, that means he had a horse crap. Well, maybe surgeon, but I always blame, I look at the physio first. Because how do we recover that? You know what I mean? It could be the surgery. But I need to know that, and I said, well, has anybody looked at this? He said, well, no, I never knew in my life. Gets off the ground, works out a couple of days, he's like, every other word, damn, I feel like I'm too slow off the ground, damn. Yeah, because you're training barefooted for the first time. You can feel it. The sensory, there's 250,000 neurological receptors in the foot. The only other area that has more than that is the brain. This is about coherence. Ground takes the energy, brain calibrates it, you do everything else. When does a baseball player swing a bat? When the foot's flat. When they've landed. When they felt pressure all the way down, they feel stable, they go. That's why I agree with you, never do sandpit workouts. Ground's unstable, so is your results. So take this athlete, and he may be genetically good. I'm going to push down slightly here. Got to be really good with the pressure here, okay? Because if I give too much and I'm right-handed and I come over to the left, it's a technique. I will say this has got to get better too, but it's very accurate. But I want numbers. We're just moving to another generation, and I want numbers on these, and I do there are devices you can buy for that. So, but this is me. So you're going to pull back on 3 as fast as you can. 1, 2, 3. Fast. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's decent. I would rate that about a 2. Did that blow you away? 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4. 4 is elite. 3 is elite. 4 is out. Right. So, well, listen. So 2 is average. It's satisfactory because he can get through the point. But did that blow you away? When you turn that upside down, he hits the ground with a ton of kinetic energy. Is he going to be able to turn that around in a quick facet? One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. There's a difference. 1, 2, 3. There's a difference. And that's about 2.5. You see a 3, a 4, they're throwing my hands off almost. No lie. You see what I mean? But guess what? Had an injury. Wish you lived next to me. Send him to a track guy. What you do on Sunday, baby girl?
So
I'm going to test some more.
the 3 days that I went to that track coach,
I'd never touched her before this, by the way. Go ahead.
he told me one day he did 200s. And then the next day, as a day off, the next day we just did full-on weights, like the typical weight room protocol. And he had me do a 3-minute plank. And then I had an off day, and then the Sunday he had me run wickets. And then from there I pulled my right groin.
He never looked at form. This is a professional track runner that has tape. He never looked at her tape. Bull crap. Bull crap. That pisses me off. Now I have to go back and formulate and get her back in alignment. You see what I mean? He never looked at her form. There was a right to left foot deficiency. She was about 2 inch or inch and a half-ish off on strike point from left to right. It was evident. She had side view angles of races. It was easy to see. He never looked at the race. She had no idea what she was doing as a runner. She's just back mechanics big, front mechanics big, just get up the track. No identity. None. Right? And these guys keep pushing. Oh, I'm a track coach. I got this many people. Okay. Did not know. Now she's dealing with something that we have to try to calibrate over who knows how long. Right? You can't make mistakes with a lot of these guys. Not those kind of mistakes. Not when that could have been seen. She's not ready to run. And what did I keep telling you? You're not ready to run. You're not ready to run. You're not ready to run. You're not in position to run. Running is violent. You need to be ready for the violence. And she wasn't in alignment. And I saw that. Goes out 3 days. I didn't even see her. First day I get her, she's hurt. And I see this over and over and over and over again. Every single time. Okay? So we fixed that. She had 0.1, she was 0.11 to 0.12 off the ground at touch milliseconds, off ground touch, total ground contact. On the good side, the left, she was 0.09. Oh. It's a big difference. That's light years in running. That's light years. She's out of balance. You see what I mean? And you said something, Minicula, that single leg training is the next generation. I'm telling you, but I'll get to that a little later. Watch. 1, 2, 3. That one's a little weaker. 1, 2, 3. You can't get it up? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Can't get it. That's what she said. Let's go. All right. One element. That's one element. I count that as, I just call it in my gym, absorption. Right? How do you absorb tempo? But that goes into something else too, because we have some other things we don't work. Watch. Curl your toes like this as hard as you can. Just curl. Yep. All the way over. You got some things going on here. Curl them over. Fast. Curl them over. Okay. No ankles. I'm going to push you back. You're going to curl the same way. Okay. Don't worry about my hand. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, these two here are nice, and these two are doing nothing. 1, 2, 3. Outside too. 1, 2, 3. It's not too bad. They're lapping inside over each other. Your toes are crunched. You see what I mean? I had a receiver out of UT a few years ago. None of the 4 toes worked. He couldn't budge me. You're budging me. So this is about 2.5. These first 2 are really good. 1, 2, 3. That's really good in the middle. This one ain't doing much. One more time, let's see. 1, 2, 3. No, you see you can't bend it. Big toe. 1, 2, 3. Not bad. 1, 2, 3. That's solid, but you can't. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's solid. 2-ish. This one's a little off. I'd probably go 2.5, 2. So we have to look at, what I'm looking more at is alignment. Okay? So if I'm feeling a half-point difference, it's okay. That's not a big one. A full point, he's in the red zone. He's on protocols. We're going to work on that first 15, 20 minutes every single day. That's it. That's the fix. Just give the brain a little more stimulus and give the athlete understanding of what's wrong. Then they can facilitate and focus on it. So when she went back to the track, of course I did all these tests, but we looked at the film, and now in her head, on the cognitive side, she knows I have to be very short with this right side because it depreciates a little bit more. You see what I mean? And then we just try to align those depths. So we got a couple slant boards. Okay, you can take your time. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Yes, sir. Oh, hey, one more. Hey, I'm gonna show you this last one. One more. You sit there one more time. It's one more. So we do this through the whole body. So he do almost every element. So sit down, face me. You lift weights? Yeah. Turn over on your stomach. You might be great at this, you might be horrible. He's usually one or the other, ain't no in between. You're gonna curl this. Okay, this is more of an isometric move. Lift up as high as you can. This, just this one leg. That's not bad. Hold it there. I'm gonna push down, don't let me, okay? 1, 2, 3. That's solid. Let me see the other side. Up. Curl this. That's a good range too. So a lot of times with these lifters, they won't get good range here. So as in that, it actually becomes a hip flexor, you can relax, psoas issue that's holding back the glute. So the glute starts to shut off. Lift up. 1, 2, 3. That's solid, big boy. That's pretty damn good. I'll give you that. Yeah. Appreciate you.
psoas is probably on.
Because the height. You know, so if I can see the height extension, and that's big for sprinters with finishing. Yep. If I see that, then I know it's turned on. Yep. But if you get one of them biggest in, the guy from Frisco I got, he could barely get off the ground. Yep. 2 inches. Big. I mean, huge guys. Huh?
What number rating is that?
That's about a 3 for sure. Yeah, because he's budging a little bit. A 4 doesn't budge. So he may be a 4. Right. And I could do a push-up on his leg. But I got girls like that too. So it's not a big, small, it's a balance thing. Because what happens is if he's out of balance here, this is going to react. If he lays on his stomach, I do the opposite. I lay him on his stomach, cross his arms, crunch up. Lift the legs up to a 90-degree angle, about 70%. If his back bows, the lower back is taking over for what the psoas should be doing. It's an imbalance. And you'll feel it right away. And some people, they rock and they can't get the legs up. You're a 1. A 1's totally deficient. So that's how we kind of go through initially. We have to, I can have all the cool crap in the world, and I'm going to show you some cool stuff here. But I can have all the cool stuff in the world. If I don't know how to problem solve, you're done. You're just doing drills. You know what I mean? I know you look at the social media, it's like drill. Dude, sometimes it's 2 drills. Am I lying? In basics. First thing we do, we hit the door, this. So these are slant. This is pretty low, but it's okay. What I want to do, she's going to jump on the slant boards. So this is going to tell me a couple things. This is what I call hitting off the tee. If you guys know anything about baseball, I'm a big baseball guy. I worked with Jock Peterson last offseason. He had a career year this year. We worked for about a month before the season. I went to his house, never trained his low back. Trains rotational movements slow. Well, how the hell are you going to hit a ball? And you get calcified over time. You keep doing the same stuff. His rotational, it wasn't what you think. He's just a hell of a player. He could just hit the ball, see ball, hit ball. But there was some horrible restrictions. We trained his low back. That dude said, I'd never had my low back trained like that before. We drove from, I forgot where we were at. Yeah. We drove from about 15 minutes to go do a 5-minute low back workout at a gym. That's how much he wanted to do low back after that. You see what I mean? Like he said he got hurt doing planks. Well, planks is an isometric action. You teach the nervous system to stabilize and freeze. This guy's got to be reactive, quick. It's all got to be like that, especially when you're hitting a ball that's coming at milliseconds. Touch it. Okay? She is a sprinter. If she was a football player, I'd do this 3 or 4 different ways. She can go shallow. She can go high. She can She can go lateral, shallow, lateral, high, foot in, foot out. Every position has to be touched. Every position has to be touched. But with track, you only got one position in running. That's the beauty. So what is she doing? She's jumping for elevation because that's how she's going to apply force into the ground. Boom, 1 foot. Now what I'm looking for here, how much depreciation am I getting per touch? That's beautiful. If I'm working on starts, I don't want any movement. If I'm working on transitioning, I'll allow an inch. And I have to call this out. Quarter. Quarter's a tippy toe. So she used all the toes to land on that position. Quarter. Then if you want to come back to low dorsey, you do it. You facilitate through the ranges. 90% of the stimulation in a movement comes from the pattern of that direct angle, 45-degree angle, 90-degree angle, everything in between. We have to train those. You have to train them in weightlifting too. Your weightlifting is too nice. You could take it easy, baby girl. Your weightlifting, great job, great job. Your weightlifting, and I would go side to side definitely also too, because instep's very important, and you can work some of those mannerisms. Now, listen, you saw it. You can do. You guys who are experts, you athletes, you know how to hit the ground. You know what you do in your sport. Hey, make it work for you. If I'm a DB and I'm gonna slide, boom, hit that low. You know what I mean? Hit it with your foot out. Hit it with your foot in. Pattern yourself. But guess what? You got to lift like that too. You got to jump like that too. Jump rope one more time. Watch this. Let's go high. So this one's for, I'm going to mix it. She's going to start short and quick. That's more of the neurological. We call that touch value. Okay? So this is our quick, short, explosive neurological thing, right? And one thing I had her do, we adapted in the last few months, I'm having her actually attack the ground. You guys jump rope too soft. You jump rope like you're on a pillow. You got to drive the shit into the ground. You got to try to put a hole in it. You understand? If I had a trampoline sitting right here, I fell off that roof, how high would the athlete catapult from that fall, you think? Maybe about another double that distance, maybe, somewhere in there, right? If you jumped off a skyscraper and did the same thing, how much higher would you jump off that same trampoline? It's potential. Here's the problem. Can the trampoline take it? Have you developed a trampoline system that can take the kinetic energy that it's receiving? You got to know timing first. You got to know how to be in a position. Here's the problem. You know where a lot of these injuries are coming from? We're training the eccentric, which is your load force, backwards. That's my opinion.
Say that again.
We're training the eccentric backwards. We're training slow loads, high output. Slow loads, high output. Why is Luka Doncic so hard to stop? And smooth equals to faster decel. Relaxation. He can stop on a dime and get out of it extremely quick. Your eccentric load is 30 to 40% stronger than the output. So if you ever bench press, if you're benching 225, you can come down with 275 control easily. You see what I mean? Because by nature, we're stronger there. Your job is to keep that in alignment. That's your job. Once it gets out of alignment, it's a hard bug. It's a booger bear. It's a booger bear. And you can see it because I'm going to show you this squat here. I got 3 NFL guys that couldn't do it at this speed with less weight. It's not the output. They're way stronger than her. They can't take the input. So it's killing the output because they can't reverse it fast enough. So it knocks that 0.15 down to 2.2. And this is going on universal. You see, how many 6-year-olds you seen pull hamstrings this year? Running outside and playing. Well, they don't play no more, so maybe that's why they're not pulling. but how many 6-year-olds you see going outside and play, really? You don't see 7-year-olds pulling hamstrings. You don't see a lot of 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds. Middle school comes, uh-oh. What happens? Off season. Off season. A bad off season. Not an orchestrated off season. Lift, 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 run. Lift, 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 run. Lift, 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 run. Stiff, 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 unrelaxed. Stiff, 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 unrelaxed. Strain, strain, strain. That's how you got your runners out there? Like that? Why are we training this? This is not athletics. One more. Ready?
Do you actually want to do on your mark second?
Yeah, so we've been doing that too. So I've been sent on the mark, get set, go. She needs to start fast and everybody else in her brain before she gets out there. Right. Ready? Mark. Sit. Go. Yep. Side to side. Forward and back. Draw next. Left leg down the middle. Left leg. Foot out. Good. Foot in. Foot out. Change. Foot out. Foot in. Sorry. Change. 2 down the middle. Pogo. Pogo high. Point down. Yep. Good. Good. Watch this. Feet out. So this is for extension. So if we're working on plantar flexion, feet in. Feet out. Kill. Kill. On that, if you want to make that one drill, make it one drill. Watch where she starts. Watch where she finishes. I'm trying to keep her as close to 90% as possible for as long as possible, and we're going to push that narrative, and she's going to build an endurance in that. That's it. So we don't need a push. She runs a 200. Who gives a damn? Nobody wants a slow 100 runner running the 2. Got that from you. but I mean, like, really, what am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with a pitcher throwing 83 miles per hour? That pitches real well. Oh, he's great. In high school, they're going to take 6'5", 97 miles per hour, can't throw a strike. They're going to draft him. It's no shock value. It's not sexy. It's not fun. Right? Right there. Let's go call outs. Foot fire. Watch. Warm up. Hit the gym. Ready? You're coming to me. Ready? Go! Feet out. Feet in. Feet out. Spin right. Zigzag tight rider. Left leg. Right leg. Left leg. Quarter. Zigzag. On the right. Left. Kill. So these are relative. So a couple things there. I got a 5-yard window with that because I know after that they're gonna be like, damn, that's look kind of far to be doing foot fires. And in the back of their mind, they're gonna slow. And by the time they get here, they're at 80% and they don't even know it. It looks good, but it's 80%. I need do or die. I need do or die and warm up because this is fight or flight. If I put a gun in your head, you're running that fence a lot faster than you would without it. And I have to, we go out every day, go watch a soccer team. Yeah, oh yeah, my bad. Opposite, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We're about to go kick a soccer ball, guys. Violently. You got to throw a baseball. You got people running poles. Dude's up there for a millisecond, like actually after transition, after these scapulos. What are we doing? And my coach ran the crap out of us in college. God dang. We had a mile to start practice. Timed. Every day. I thought that was the way. Like, it's mental toughness, guys. Work harder. Like, shit. Wore me down. I went in, I worked with Jesse Barfeld. I don't know if you know him. He was my hitting coach for like 10 years when I was playing college ball. And he's like, I came back in, he said, dang, boy, like you got AIDS. I lost 25 pounds. And I wasn't this size. I was actually in shape. 25 pounds. My face was sunken in. He ran the dog crap out of us. I was top 5 in the conference. Ricky Weeks was number 1. He got 2nd overall pick that year. Ricky Weeks was in our conference. I went from top 5, about 1/4 of the season, the end of the quarter of the season, I went down 40 points. Didn't strike out but 2 times. I was dead. And I was a catcher. I was dead. He nuked me. He ruined my best season. I was still first team all conference. He ruined my best potential season to get drafted. And I never knew. Never knew. So I want to show you this. There's so many elements. Ball work. There was this has been a very kind of controversial situation here. When I've dealt with ball work, I only seen 2 guys doing it right, I'll be honest with you. So this has grown a lot. Turn catacorn this way. Like that, perfect. So this is how we stretch, but we don't call it that. This is active stretching, right? But I don't call it that. This is strengthening. This is composure. This is relaxation. Watch. Regular speed. Ready? Go. No, don't do that yet. Don't do that yet. Kill. All right. That's a kickback. All 3 angles, we're opening up the 3 heads of the hamstring and the connective points, and we're going every angle. Now, a couple things. As you roll back slow motion, the foot's going to be completely on that ball, right? and we're going through the toes. Most people, you'll start seeing inconsistency right here. They can't grab with the toes. They're hooking back. They're just tense. The fingers are coming off the ground. If the damn pinky finger is up, we get on them. Everything has to be in perfected mode. Now, here's the other aspect. They have to be like that because this is the other aspect. Go ahead. Ready? On me. Go. Yep. Yep. Half, quarter, full, left hand, right hand, both, quarter, full, kill. All right? So she's basing that on my movement. You can speed her up, you can slow her down. If I get an 11-year-old, they're doing it the same way. I'm not going to train a different pattern. They have to catch up to the facilitator. You control the narrative of every move. You understand? So they're going to be as fast or as slow as you make the drill. So if the calls are not frequent, then the brain starts to get sedentary. It figures it out, and then it does what it does. It survives. That's what our bodies do. All right? Go crossovers. Taps. So this is a great hip move here. Yep. Half, quarter, full, half, left hand. Right hand, down the middle, quarter, full, halfway right, kill. It's good. So this is, we have about 30 different drills on this ball, upper and lower. We use the bells, we use these, we use the kickback moves, we get on top of the ball. There's another sequence of that stuff. And what we do is as they get better, we want to intermingle the drills. Okay? So this heightens the nervous system to another degree or a higher capacity. Okay? It's important because we talk about calibrating multiple things at one time in sport. Right? Basketball has, they calibrate probably the most, them in soccer. Right? It's just so much going on. Ball, man, where's your guy, where's the goal, blah, blah, blah. Right? We need to calibrate the same thing in our warm-ups. Make it law, make it nature. It's their natural environment. One more move. Let's go scissors. So this is more of on top. This is actually let's go scissors. Ready? Go. So this is a psoas move, and we're really stretching through the hip flexors. Real quick, if you're going to try this. 1 second. Stop in position. Open the hip all the way up. I want that hip cleared. Okay? I want the foot towards the shoulder. If that foot goes sideways, that's a different angle on the psoas. I want that up, and I want that hip flexor being stretched to capacity, so you think of it like a scorpion stinging over his shoulder. If it goes flat, it's no good. Try it out. Go, yep, up. And I expect this from my big guys and small ones and women. It doesn't matter. Half, quarter, full, half, kill. Good. So speed starts to dwindle. You give them as much time as they need to recover. There's no rushing. The pro groups go longer than the kid groups in my gym because not because they're doing more, it's because they're getting more recovery. And they know their body's better. With the kids, you have to facilitate it. And you got to give them the breaks. You understand? And you got to know when to cut it. And you got to know, like, when they're dead. She came in the other day, I didn't like her, I sent her home. Too slow. What am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with 80%? And you're trying to run under 11. So, on the box. So, a couple things. Somebody want to come here and take the shot?
Can I get a rest first?
Yep, shoes off. Come on, let me try. Yeah, get a rest. You get a rest. So I want to, while she's resting, recovering, this is what I want to talk about. So we talked about transition periods, kinetic energy. What I want to really look at when we talk about the nervous system aspect, when I say train at the speed or sport or faster, what is the faster, right? Of course, you have some overspeed. That would be considered faster, different methods like that. But there's another way to kind of train that faster. So when I look at a move, I look at it in a segment, right? So if a pitcher throws a ball, I look at it in segments. Scap load, fall back, recovery, pronation into the body, right? I want to train in each degree point of that and make a drill out of each one. If I fasten the drill in between the totality of the move, it's a shorter range so I can move it faster. So a pitcher, from here, but if he goes through progression, that point is a little slower. But if I take each point and train it through the entirety of the move, then what happens is over time, each part is stimulated a lot more. 90% actually. You get 90% more stimulation if you just fasten on one point. That's why it gets hard to lift weights in one spot like that. All right? So, real quick, I ain't trying to kill her. Competition is key, right? So, a couple things I want you to watch first, and then you're going to jump in. So, when we do this, again, this is still pretty much things we do at the very beginning. We would go through a footwork series, okay? You did some of the slant board work, and we'll do the pipes. And I'm going to let her give one example on the pipes, because this is easy. To get some PVC pipes and open up your fascia, super simple thing to do. Everybody here can do this, okay? On the blocks, I use the box the same way. It's a brain thing. It's not a drill relatable thing unless I want to make it one. Now you get a great running back or somebody and you want to make this an actual move, we do that too. But for the beginning of the workout, I don't care about that. How's he responding? How's he relaxing? How's he distributing force? Ready? Go! Left, right, left, spin right, 2. Yep, half, quarter, full, step ups, quick, half, full, quarter, kill. Okay? Y'all grimace when she rolled right there, right? I had Thomas Mcginty. He's the head special teams coach with the Tampa Bay now. He used to be with New York for years. Thomas Mcginty came in and watched me train for a week. His son was working with me. Short story, he was my coach back in high school. So I finally got him in the door. He watched for a week. He said, I know every strength coach out there, coach. I've never seen some of the things I've seen at this gym. People roll their ankle and just walk off like nothing happened. And he said, I've seen it all the way. I didn't say anything. He said, I just watched. It's unbelievable. He said, man, most of the time these guys are out 10 weeks if they roll an ankle like that. Had a guy on a supercat, which I'm going to show you in a minute. We're double loading this kid. I don't know what happened this day. He just went straight on the side of his foot like that. I'm not lying. With about 180 pounds on the back of the cat and 2 people pulling down. He walks off, paces for about 5 minutes, get back on and finishes the day. And right there, he said, this is something different. And it is. It's something different. I thought he was done. I just turned around the other way. So, well, that's the end of me. Walked back in there and did another set. Unbelievable. You understand? But this happens when you train. We do this every day. Every day we work feet. Every day. Try. I'm going to pace a little. Now, you got to keep my pace. So you got step ups. That's the drill what you did. Yeah, just up and down. Okay, I'm not going to make you spin. You got 2. 2, you're going to jump up with 2, yeah, and back down. It's up, but you need to attack the ground. So don't go down soft. Go down with intent. Ha! Yes, like that. You got it? Okay, and then if I say left and right, you're going to follow the box. I'll move out of the way, but you got to get around it quick. Right, so down the middle first. If I say feet in, you're going to turn the feet here. Pronate, yeah, and then we're going to go feet out. Right, okay, ready? Go! Feet in. Feet out. Feet in. Feet out, left, right, kill. That's all right. What's going on there? Ground contact. Response. Go ahead, Tom. Watch, ground contact. And I know, and you got a bigger foot, so that does matter. Watch. You're not going to do much. Ready, go. Kill. She's cutting distance. She can feel it. She can feel it. If I put cones out here, most of you will look bad. You would go over the cone like this, instead of cutting the cone and feeling it. That's a problem in field sports. You got to feel its proprioception. If that cone's off the ground that much, you ought to be a 1/4 inch over it. You should have to feel it. You can't just, oh, my knees are up high, and I'm just walking over this object that's on it. No. Attack it. Feel it. Move in it. You understand? This is what's happening in fields, moving pieces everywhere. People reaching, kicking their legs out. You got to feel. One more time. Stay higher on the toes. I want you to push through your big toe after you drive force in, okay? Really focus on it like that instep. Drive all the toes into it, though. Big toe. Trust me. Ready, go. Up. Much better. Yo, keep going. Keep going. That's good. Much better. Big toe. Left. Right. Left. 2. 2, big toe. Big toe. Big toe. Half. Quarter. So on a half, I'm sorry. So on a half quarter, it's going to be tight.
I don't know what that means.
So quarter, watch, because this is important. This is important. Quarter, half, full. My quarter, it's going to be different for everybody. If I'm a running back that can go from here to there, well, you need a, you know, if I'm an elite guy. So full may be here for some guys. Half may be here for some guys. Quarter may be here, okay? But they have to, if it's left to right, quarter, half, full. Bad move, good move. Where's that at? Train bad positions. Oh, I got fooled. I'm on defense. Put them in a bad position. Have them come out of that repeatedly. No stopping. No isometric holds. They have to recognize it. You have to recognize on the field. This is about impact balance, contact balance. Contact balance is the key. How fast can you balance? Oh, a sprinter can't sit there and say, oh, man, that was a good landing right there on that step, and then in transition, oh, it's touch. So why are you training and allowing the athlete to jiggle and wiggle for 30 seconds? It's not happening. You're going to get you're going to get a second to make a difference. So the impact has to be the same way. So face each other. All right. I got numbers, though. I got an equalizer. You call it.
Oh, I have to call these?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't done that.
If I want.
Okay.
I may not.
Okay.
Ready? Go! Up.
One,
Yeah.
one.
Kill.
I don't know what's going on.
That numbers mean call numbers. So I'm going to flash numbers because I don't want you to focus. I need you to feel that. You see what I mean? And so I'm putting numbers there. So one thing, I talked to some guys. I was on tour last year with a Brandon Nakashima tennis guy. He did our system and went from 160 to 43. I think got up to 43 by the end of the year. His mom just called me for this meeting. They're trying to get me to come down to lower floor. I'm not going now. But he's playing doubles today. He did this system. He was not a good athlete. Great tennis player, like top 10 type potential. Not a good athlete at all. I got 12-year-olds would run circles around him. I'm not lying. That being said, y'all think football is something, go to tour. Because when those guys, it's 12 hours a day. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We got up at 7. He's getting physio work. I'm telling him, like, even that stress. Getting worked on is stress, too. You need rest from that. And it's 5 days, 6 days straight every week. He goes out and hits like ridiculous amount to me because I think the coaches should be facilitating the moves, but I don't think he needs that many reps. It's quality of rep. That's the key. The quality of rep sucks because he's out there and he's hitting, over here, over here, over here. How long can you do that? Then, funny thing, I put him on a heart monitor. Heart rate, 160. Is that thing broke? It should be higher than that. I was like, this is his comfort zone. This is why he's a 70% athlete right now. He's moving like one. Because his nervous system, thinks that's his 100. He's used to that. But if I take him out and I ran him about 20, 40 meters max, hard sprints for a short segment, heart rate went to 175. Energy systems. They're attacking an aerobic quality in an anaerobic sport. You attack anaerobic through aerobic. You condition the anaerobic through the aerobic. You understand? That's how you do it. My boxer, I'm damn near off sprint work. We used to sprint every few days, and now this last camp, hardly sprinted. Hardly did any sprint. You ran with him a few times. He's world class, number 1 bantamweight in America right now. Michelangelo, you can look him up. This camp, he sparred Shakur Stevens, got hit in the back of the rib, bruised his rib. Everything we did, we had to fall back based on that rib, right? So I put back on everything. Said, you're going to be all right anyway because your nervous system has been trained like this for 7 years. You're not going to get tired because the brain makes you tired. This is all you know now. You're a boxer, but he wants to go out there and run cross country. So any chance he gets when it's not in camp, because in camp I'm on his ass, he trying to jog miles somewhere. I'm like, Mike, what are you doing? You spar too damn much. That's another thing. And then you run too long. And it's slow. And you throw punches and you try not to get literally killed in a ring. Why would you take the chance of some of that data coming back and creeping up on you in a 10th round against Inoue, who he's right in line to fight for a championship? Because that guy is elite. You understand? My guy is too, but those guys don't make mistakes like the guys he's been fighting. He's not going to get hit with a rib shot. You're going to have to beat that guy. And you have to avoid him. And he throws in a lot of volume, and Mike doesn't. Mike is tall. So I'm telling him, I don't really care about like the hand speed. It's there. It is what it is. You know what I care about? The reactivity. Because if I'm slipping stuff, we can counter, and you're a bigger guy. It'll wear over time. But if you sit up here, like, why, Mike? You understand? Right. But go take a cross-country runner and throw him in the ring for 2 rounds. I boxed. Go take one, and we had a bunch of them coming there, and go let them go jump in there. If they make it 3 rounds, I'll pay you. Now, I barely got here on my plane ticket, so, so I'll pay you. I guarantee you, 3 rounds, they're tapped. Tapped. You understand? How is that? They run thousands of steps a day. Every time I get a cross-country runner, they don't look any better in my gym. Slightly. They'll get the degrees, they look okay. But when they go out and run for time, they get way better. They drop 5, I've had one kid drop 3 minutes off some long distance time. Like a ridiculous amount of time, right? It's his sport. That's what he does. And if we're explosive and we're throwing fastballs and we're throwing punches and we're running 100 and it's only 10 seconds involved and 20 seconds, this is a different element of training. So it's not just with this. We got to start taking it here too. And this is what I want to bring even to some of these gurus here. Because if we can learn to train, I feel, even incorporate this into whatever you're doing and retrain the eccentric, we can do some nasty things in the world. Because I really feel like this is the problem, right? The slow eccentric loads. Jump in real quick. We're going to go one more. I'm going to show you something. Listen. She's giving you all the data you need. You ever been to a salsa club? Or something? No. You go to a club, something with some music?
Maybe.
You go to the pace of the music of the club.
Yeah, okay.
Right? You go to the pace of the rhythm of the music. Right? If it's slow, you don't go the Kendrick Lamar dance, right? You don't go, we ain't going Kendrick Lamar, right? Right? If it's slow, you're going to dance a certain way, right? If it's fast, you're going to dance a certain way. Same thing with feet. When I take them through this, go 6. Foot fire. 6. 6. 4. 2. 6. 8. 10. See what I mean? It's taught. So you have, this is all taught. This is daily protocols. Single leg. Right down the middle. Go. Yeah, just fast. Ready? Go. Change. 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 Foot open. Foot closed. Foot open. Kill.
Brian, how long has she worked with you?
3 months. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah.
You don't see that.
No. And when they come in, and this is why I was asking about the NFL offseason. It's like a bunch of wounded ducks, man. It's really like these guys have been there, man. If you haven't seen this stuff for yourself, it is eye-opening. Like some of these guys are your heroes, and they come in there. I mean, I'm like, dude, you're worse than a 12-year-old. And I'm being serious. And Gary Marino has told me that. He said, dude, you're going to be surprised once you start getting your pros in. Once you start actually training pros, it took about 5 years. I'm glad it went that pace. I was not ready. I thought I was. I wasn't. I may be looking at myself 5 years from now saying the same thing about this guy. I don't know. But I was not ready then to see what I saw. I wouldn't have known how to make the adjustments. And I'd say that for you if any of you, are going to any element of training. You know what I mean? Experience is a big sucker. Damn that certification. Y'all got to get off that stuff. That's just paper, man. It don't make you great. I don't know damn certification. I work with Gary. Now, he's tried to certify me. He said it. He's like, hey, you want to come down here? I'll give it to you. Like, you're the guy. All right, one day. It's not that big of a deal. Dude, it's about love. We're trying to change people's lives, man. Some of these kids have hard lives, man. We can literally take off a couple tenths of a second and change somebody's whole dynamic of their life, change their whole lineage. Man, you know the power in that? Like the power you have in that? You know what I mean? I told him big toe. He got a little better. Simple little things every day. One more. Let's go, man. And relax. Listen, just listen. I'm not going to do a whole lot of stuff. Not even numbers. No.
I just want to remember that.
Here we go. Ready? Go! Listen. No, just listen. And faster. Listen to her pace. Kill. You went soccer mode. It's all right. It's all right. It's just neurological. It's just, and like I say, in a couple of days, you would be right there.
100%.
You would speed up because your brain can do it.
100%.
It just hadn't been put in that environment.
100%.
You know what I mean? And so if you're not in that environment every day, you're out of your element.
100%.
You see me?
Intentional, because I see your breathing out, like I see you breathing out like while you're doing it.
We're trying to breathe from the diet. We do a lot of diaphragmatic breathing. I'm not a breath expert or anything. I don't want to make sense. But with my boxer, we do all diaphragmatic breathing. He can literally blow fish's back out. So we can oxidate the body a lot better because he can feel through the lungs. That's another thing. Somebody said something about jogging earlier, and Holler. So Holler was talking about jogging earlier, and it was some research about jogging. That's good, big boy. Appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you. But I gotta find this and just DM me. I swear I'll pick it up. There's an article. I have this magazine somewhere in my house, and it's years back. It's before I really got big into training, and it was talking about all these cross-country runners that were dying just all of a sudden, like these strongman competition guys, the Ironman, all that, and these people just dying, massive heart attacks, things like that. What it said, when we look at it, we always look at testosterone, right, as dropping after 30. That's the big thing we always hear, right? We never talk about lung capacity. Lung capacity starts shrinking around 25. Yeah, and so HIIT sports, HIIT training is what's going to expand the lung capacity because it's such big breath, right? This is what's standing. If you're going, that's shortening. You see what I mean? And so these guys are doing thousands of hours before a competition. Well, guess what? You're not oxidating. That affects the blood, all of a sudden clotting, all of a sudden heart attacks. And this article broke it down years back. I've never really heard anybody else talk about it. I need to probably put it out. But it came out years back, and I was like, that always stuck with me. Had a lady that worked with me. Her husband was an Ironman guy, had a massive heart attack. I don't know what's wrong. He eats good. He works out. He's a cop. And I was sitting there like, he shrunk his capacity.
Cooked himself.
Yep. Cooked himself. He did. Huh? Yeah. And it's crazy. They go from one element of health to another. That guy was messed up after that.
So what about hypoxic training? Is that detrimental, or is it?
Hypoxic, what's
So like in swimming, like I'm holding my breath in my race, so like I won't breathe.
I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no on that. Because you may be doing it for a short amount of time. Maybe it's not as detrimental. Yeah, it may not be as detrimental. It's somebody running miles every day for a long period of time. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that. But I will say this. If you could facilitate your breath and really go in, it drops your heart rate substantially. Mike's had drops to 90 from 170 in 1 minute. And we train through that. He has to go home and do rep range. Between each sprint sequence, he goes through that. On the side, when he's done, he goes through that. Like everything has to be like that. And this is basically sprinting, in a sense, the output. It's not sprinting, but the output level of time frame. And so when he's doing every one of these, it's recover in between. And even if he's playing around in the ring, playing around the corners, we're moving around, right? Circulating. Sorry, I'm giving myself time, right? By the time you get to the 12th round, Mike's getting stronger. And all you hear the announcer saying, oh, it's conditioning. We didn't. This is years of development. His body is built for it now. When he first got to me, he said, I need a condition. I feel like I run 3-4 miles a day and I get tired in the third round. Now he's fighting 12-round fights. He runs a quarter of what he used to run, right? And we never really run outside of 100 yards. And I'm only running that far. I'm probably going to get away from that eventually. But I'm only running that far because of time synapses. So that takes about 13 seconds. So I'm looking at it like output and around, getting in, active recovery, get away. Back into it, on, active recovery, get away. Cut that at 4 minutes. He does no longer than 4 minutes on that at a time with an active recovery. So he can walk back. You see what I mean? Most time he jogs, but he can walk back. I take his heart rate. I like it. We got another round. I hate it. You're done for the day. That's it. And may not even need to do that. Like honestly, on some of this research, we may not even have to go that far anymore. He just may need just plain out output. With the active recovery, so I'm kind of getting away from that. I'm always trying to grow every year. and like hearing some of the stuff I'm hearing, I've already been twisting it around in my head. How much of that does he actually need at this point? But what I don't need is a boxer that's punch drunk because he's sparring 4 times a week. This is the problem. I'm dealing with the team.
So what do you do because if you're not managing his sparring, how do you get him to not participate with his camp? Because that's how camps run their fights. Is it'll be 30-minute, 45-minute drills, 30, 45-minute sparring.
Right.
And then like 100,000 kicks on the back.
Right. Right.
If you're not
And where's the quality?
how are you going to manage?
Yeah. You got to put your foot down. I got to really. I'm not gonna say anything. I'll send it out when it happens. I got a pretty big name in boxing. I'm supposed to be working here soon. I don't like what I'm saying at all. I don't like what I'm saying. I don't like what the team's doing. And I already told them on Zoom, if I come in, that's it. You got to accommodate. And if you don't, fine, put me back on a plane, get me out of here. You understand? But you're going to put your foot down at some point, guys, because these guys they're boxed, guys. These guys are inside the box. This is the problem. They don't want to get out of this. It's ignorance. Gary Marinovich says all the time, he's an 80-year-old man. It's just ignorance, Brian. It's just ignorance. They don't know. That's it. You got to look at them like little kids. I don't get mad no more. All the comments I get, little kid. He don't know because he's not sitting up here training athletes all day long for a living. He doesn't know. So, real quick, I want to move to a couple points. Can we show this real quick? This is our lifting. So this is Siobhan lifting. That's Mike right there, the boxer I've been talking about. So I want a couple things here. When you see this, I'm looking at a few things. She has to have a neutral point where she sprints from. So we have to teach that. We have to let her know, look, this is as much knee bend as you get throughout the veracity of the move. That being said, we still train through the system. So we'll train the points. We'll go a quarter range position, a half range position, which is her strike point, where she should be facilitating off the ground. And then some days we'll go a little lower. I don't really do anything like at 90% because I feel like I can flip that same move upside down and do it another way. So there's no point in me going to 90, right? The other thing, why are we squatting from our heels? why are we squatting from our heels? Your heels never, I mean, like some things. Right. Why are we squatting from our heels? So she has foot control. She can only go up as fast as 2 things. The coupling is at 0.15. If the coupling is at 0.15, she can go up and wait. And she can keep treading up. I got a football player a couple years ago, did 275 repeat jumps with 2 coaches pulling them down. I've had multiple guys get 250. Weights on the back of the machine. Athlete is more relaxed because they don't have the stress on the spine, right? You're working everted and inverse positions. So you're working different qualities, especially with those athletes that are field sport that are going to use a lot of different methods. And you have that 30 to 40% of that eccentric being put back into the force of the push through the coaches. We can control the narrative of the whole move and make it athletic. There is weight back there. She's up to, I think, a 100-pound PR right now.
Something like that, yeah, I think.
Yeah, a little over 100-pound PR, which in plyometrics is shocking to reverse that for a little lady. You understand? So you have to look at that. Eric Murray trained with me for 4 years. He's went to Houston, Texas. First camp he ever had me was the COVID year. He did nothing else but this. He went back, 225 on his back, was jumping off the ground with it. His strength coach runs over and tells him to stop and then asks for my number. What have you been doing this offseason?
0.15, are you timing that? Are you eyeballing that?
So I will know, yeah, I'm not going to say that's the best way to do it, but I can eyeball at this point. You know what I mean? And I go back, we have apps, we go back and look at everything. I tape everything. Running, I'm kind of like Holler, and I kind of got that from Holler. I know when they're depreciating. So all the time clock would tell me, because we have to get a little better with like GPS. I like that stuff and some type of measuring system, but we tape everything and we time everything and we keep charts on it. And I'm not saying I'm the best in the world at that because there's much better ways to do that, but I keep a record and we're always going to log that. If she is not getting off on that move at a certain rate of speed, which is, I'm really looking under 0.15, right? And this is only transition. Please understand this too, because this is principle. If you don't know this principle, you're going to screw up, right? That is transition. So from the time she loads to stop, that concentric isometric period where she comes to a complete stop, I have to see her do that. That's it. It just has to move in the other direction.
Is there a sound that you're looking for as well? Because there's 2 different sounds on their feet when they were jumping.
Right. You can facilitate some of that. Yeah, I do hear sounds, especially with bigger jumping. So this is small jumping. I'm gonna give you an example of bigger jumping here before we cut off here in a minute.
Vocal cues, they're not doing rep ranges and all. It's all, hey, until I see you depreciate, and then you're done.
On the strength training?
Yeah.
No, they're getting vocal cues too.
Okay.
So they're getting everything. Yeah, so they're getting vocal cues and they're getting range. Now, if you have a track guy, you want to go, she does a lot of single leg work now because we're trying to get that quad back in alignment, and we're doing a lot of single leg work. So what you'll see here, this is Maddie. She's another advanced one. She's at U of H, runs the hurdles. So what we do here is they have to recognize position. So if I was to tell my athlete, hey, go from strike point, right? Because I think terminology is really important, right? How many of you guys tell your athletes, get your knees up, high knees? I did in the past. I never say that anymore. Because like, what are you thinking? What's the quickest way to a point? A straight line. I think that's what they taught me in school. That's about one thing I got right? So what's the quickest way to a point? Straight line. Why would I make a circle to get there? It's angle distribution. Line, recovery line, strike. So I say position, get to position, get to position. That way in her mind, she's not thinking, she's thinking, ah! Right? Aggression into the ground. Show them a classic A skip. Does that look like the speed of running? Show them power plus A skip. Get to your position. Go. Kill. I created that about 3 years ago. I just took the mechanic, and then what I try to do is train them to make sure, because that's a little inaccurate. That's a little lower than I want her, but she has to get to that point. And I furiously trained that for months. Just get to that point and be nasty at it. Absolutely nasty. When she first came, she was tippy-toe, everything. Dainty. Tippy-toe, tippy-toe, tippy-toe. A lot of guys are like that. Tippy-toe, tippy-toe, tippy-toe. Right? You're not getting anything out of it. There's no kinetic energy. It's like getting a pillow. It's like, go. And you got to train it with veracity. Show it. This one here. This is our throw off. Same thing, double load. Athlete finds position. And this is going to look, so we're training track positions here, so I don't want a lot of knee bend on this. But lately, we have been training much deeper with her for some things I saw in the evaluation. But she's turning, I try to keep these guys pretty much in the same position because they're track, right? But if you have a field sport, that goes out the door. And sometimes it goes out the door with things I want to train everything, right? You train the quarter range position of the ankle, the half range position of the ankle, the full range position of the ankle, feet out full, feet in full, feet out quarter, feet in quarter, feet out. These are chains you have to train. This is what you use, right? So why would your strength system only work one chain? What about this one? We don't use that? Why aren't you training there? Why aren't you training here? Why aren't you training here, right? Lower, open, close. You have to train everything. Because that one thing you don't train, right? One more time on that. So a couple things. This is a lot more deceptive than it looks. I wish I had this here in person. Coming down is the hardest part because you have to be as fast as the load. And that machine's coming down extremely fast. So her decel improves because she has to be fast. If not, it's going to sound like a brick. When you hear somebody does it right, you don't hear anything. It's like that. Absorption. Her decel is much faster. When they go into strength training and come back to me, and they have to strength train, but when they go to strength training and come back to me, they have trouble with this. Even the advanced guys. The nervous system slowed down. That's it. The quality of the nervous system slowed down. So I want to go, I want to show you a couple more things. How much time I got?
Let him run. Let him run.
All right.
6:30, I'll give you 20 minutes.
Okay. you want to start here? Yeah, repeats. Repeat jumps.
Okay.
You want to try?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, do you want to start here or you want to
that's
go? Okay. All right, because I'm not going to do a bunch of these. She got one. Listen, so these repeat jumps I see all the time. There's a couple of different ways to do this. My biggest thing with this, I don't care how high this box is. You got to get out of the ego stuff, right? NFL guys come in, there's a lot of ego involved in the jumping. We did a hurdle session the other day. I only jump train once a week. So when you're looking at my page, don't think we're out there jumping like that every day. It's once a week, and it's 15 minutes. That's all they get. You're going to get 45 to 50 impact blows in a session. For high-intensity guys, you get 90 a week. So potentially they could do another session. That's it.
Say that one more time.
So jump training, with jump training, high-level jump training. This is not like the jump rope stuff here, like falling off the box, jumping over hurdles, things like that. They get 45 a week. 45 a week. 45, I'd say 55 you could push. High-level guys will get 90 in a week.
That's touches on the ground.
That's touches on the ground from impact. So you have to look at what you're doing, and you want to be around those numbers. I'm not saying that's the perfect number, you know what I mean? But that's kind of our gauge. Start watching the athlete after 45 to 50. Start watching high impact jumps. I mean, like, not if they're jumping off a little short box, but if they're like this, start watching the depreciation. If you tell them, hey, go quarter, and they can't do it, they're toast. Get them out of there. Get them out of there. The ground contacts are suffering. They know the position, and they can't hold it. They're tired.
So how long does a training session look like?
About pros, 2 hours. 2 hours. But that 2 hours is very laid back. It's right. So we do 20 minutes of footwork. So she's going to show you some things with the pikes at the very end. So we do all the footwork circuit. 1 day of footwork. 1 day on that, we would do what we call our technical balance, where we're working different balance techniques. She's going to show you some cool stuff on the pipes in a second, where we're doing like balance techniques, rolling out the fascia, making sure we're understanding strike points, things like that. And we're training that on the slant boards, on our balance plates, and on our pipes. They'll also do tip stuff, but our tip stuff is fast. So we got that product from the tip bar guy, and they have to, I mean, it's like quarter, half, full, circles, quarter, half, full, change, quarter, half, X, quarter, sliver, quarter, half, full. That's how we train dorsiflexion. And we load it sometimes.
I'm at 10 pounds.
10 pounds with that. And I started, first they were sitting down, I got them standing up, they get a lot more gravity response. And they can go more into the action. Whatever action the coach wants, you just train them there. Train them in that block. Get them used to that. Get them consistent. To me, track's like baseball. It's about timing. Boxing is about timing, right? So put them in the situation where they can work on timing. Let's show them this real quick.
So is this one here?
Yeah. So I don't care about the box. I care about, come this way.
This way?
No, that way. Yeah, back then. I care about the ground contact. Go ahead. Yep, touch, relax, quick off the ground. So, kill, it's too much ground contact. That's slow. That has to look freakish. And that's why we have like this certain type of padded floor too. I don't want it too soft, and I don't want it too hard either. So it's kind of a medium. So, yes. The toes will grab, but you have to train them. So this is my whole thing with I get the dorsiflexion thing, but what if our foot was totally different? Will we go by those same laws? If you've been training your foot since a baby to grab stuff, would we be going through the same dorsiflexion laws? Just something to look at. You know what I mean? Because there's 14 joints in the toes. What do joints do?
Articulate.
And rotate.
Divert power, articulate, power, right? If we could maximize, I'm telling you, I've had guys can't pull a towel and they leave out, they have a 35-pound weight in a couple months. Okay, that's insane. You understand? What if everybody could get to that level? What if everybody here had foot strength like that? I guarantee I'll test you guys for free after I'm done, and I'll show you. Like, you have to make sure that the body can facilitate in every chain. So if the two outside toes aren't working, we're working all the way up the system here. Then you get a lower back tweak and like, oh, my hip, oh. What happened? You have dead toes, and you're trying to make moves. And so the guy I work with from UT, I'd never seen anything like that. Not one toe moved. Another guy from Denver, Locke, what was his first name? He's a safety for Denver for years. I don't know if he was there this year. It's from Beaumont. It'll come to me in a minute. He had no movement in his toes. Steve Nelson, a vet, had 2 toes working. Steve Nelson had one of the worst evaluations I've ever seen from an NFL athlete walking in the door. He looked like he was depressed. And he told me after he was. He's like, I was about to retire. He played 2 more seasons, got 2 more contracts. He said, this revitalized me. He went from 0 to 100. But it was there already. You can't let them learn another way. You can't. So on that note, I'm not going to make you redo that. So that's too slow, right? That's slow. You need to see that too. I had a guy, I worked with a sprinter last year. I didn't say anything because they didn't want it talked about. He was an Arkansas Razorback, 100-meter, 200-meter guy. He ran 10 flat as a freshman, walking in the door. I never touched him. I wasn't working with him then. From year 1 to 4, by year 4, he was 10.5 at Arkansas. Oh, I'm sorry. Started at Kentucky with Abby Steiner and them, then went to Arkansas. Right? We worked with him. He came in for like a week and a half in the summer. I sent him back. I gave him a bunch of protocols. He would call me. I said, just work on the ground contact stuff because that's your biggest problem. This guy was jumping this box like to here about it's the same height, because I didn't push him past. He was new. I had never seen a guy get off the ground like that in my life. And he was totally flat-footed. He was so fast we couldn't even see the coupling. Like I thought his heels were up. And I eyeball everything. I could see everything. I couldn't see it. It was that elite of speed. But guess what? Everybody at that level has that kind of speed. That's track. They're the most elite. They have the best nervous systems because they're in the most stringent environment, right? So if you take that, and I said, okay, what if I took a quarter of that away and then his heel's that much higher off the ground? What does that do for his career? 9.9 PR Olympic trials. He ran in Olympic trials this year. 200 and 100, PR in both, 19.9 or something like that in the 2. Like I said, I'm not a track guy. I just told him, you got to get off the ground. I gave him a bunch of get off the ground protocols. That was it. I'm not a track coach. You see what I mean? But these things work. He's barefooted. He found a super cat at his school. He's a loner. He doesn't really care about what other people are doing, right? Perfect guy for me to be weird. So all right, let's go Pikes real quick. Let's look at it. So this is, I ain't gonna say it. This has a lot of value, and it may look kooky and whatever. So what's happening, let's go basic first. Face them real quick. So we're gonna go feet out. So in this position, we're gonna drive the heels into the ground, but you're gonna grab with the toes. So what you'll start seeing with some people, they start doing is the big toe peeks up. Then you see them jump, the big toe peeks up. Then you see them cut, the big toe peeks up. What's happening with the big toe? It peeks up. That's what it does. You understand? You are the facilitator. You have to notice these things even on drills like this. Every toe is responsible. She's grabbing all the way down, pushes the Achilles to the ground for a good stretch, comes back out, goes over. Same rule apply. Is that right? So if those pipes start to sliver out, hips are slivering out. Pipes have to stay in a perfect position, whether she's going feet in or feet out. This, go slow. This is proper form done the wrong way. What do we have? A principle. What is that principle? 0.15 at transition points. It doesn't matter the drill. Let's go. On me. Ready? Go. Full. Half. Quarter. Full. Half. Quarter. Full. Kill. So working different ranges over the top also. Quarter. Half the distance. Full. Go feet in real quick. To start off like she first started. The key is that transitioning period still, even in a drill like this. She goes out, she has 0.15 to reverse it to the other direction, whatever that is. Yeah, and so you see the hip here is turning way out. Right there, you see the pipe there? So that's an indicator. I take that back to the gym, I'm gonna do a test on that and see if there's something going on there or if we've hypertrophied a little bit too much or whatever. Yeah, and it's happening on the right side. You see that? Yeah, and I'm glad y'all can see that. You see what I mean? Like this is normal. I get an NFL guy, they can never go inside. It takes them a month to get that. You can feel it all the way up the hips, through the feet. Through the feet. So let's show them some fun stuff. So don't try this at home. So she's a runner. So we project with speed change and with like field athletes, I'll call changes. So she's going to change her. Change. Go the other way. Change. 180. Yeah. Right. Right over. Toe grab. Back over. Singles. See that? Feet like hands. Kill. Feet like hands. That's the key. Spend the next year training feet like this. Holla at me in a year. I think, hold on. I got any questions for Ian? Yes, sir. What? Strength's needed. So I will say that. I don't want you to think like strength's not needed in the power solution because that's part of the equation. They need strength. Now, how you gain that strength, I think that the issue becomes how much are we going to compromise speed for that strength? How much are we willing to compromise for that? Yeah, see, that's the difference out of me. That's the only difference out of me. I don't want to compromise at all. So I'm going to take that speed and I'm going to build through that gradually, and I'm going to get the strength I want, but I'm going to build it through speed. You see what I mean? So
The overcoming isometrics, you can still get the fast stimulus that you would be interested in.
oh yeah. So the big thing about overcoming, you need to make sure you overload the load, and see how that's kind of your conditioning for eccentric reaction, right? So on the overcoming phase, the concentric overcoming, you're at a standstill. How fast you get out of that is based on isometric strength. But I stopped training isometric strength the traditional way about 5 years ago. We started training it through position control. So you are training. So every time she goes quarter half full, when they come in the door, they can't do that. That little high position she's hitting, she had to strength train through that point. We do calf raisers through that point. We do jumping through that point. You see what I mean? We do foot fires through that point. We've trained that point in a bunch of different elements to get that kind of response out of that move.
So is everything that you're going to do then, just going to be like full, like with those guys that you're doing there in the jump cat, like full eccentric?
Right.
Eccentric, you're never going to do jump and stick? Or
No.
without the
Nope. No, because the stick teaches the isometric to stick. You see what I mean? Right. I don't want them to get the notion that it's okay because if I got a running back and he goes just a little bit too long on that, done. Get off the ground. It's hard to hit. You see what I mean? So don't impress the nervous system. That's still nervous system. We start looking side to side, we forget. It's nervous system. Your hip response is nervous system. I never do this move. Never do that. They do it off a box. We'll push them once they get advanced if the foot's there. If not, they jump off the box, quarter half fulls. On the touch, foot in, foot out. Good position, bad position. Get out of that crap as fast as possible, just like you try to make somebody miss on the field. Low, deep. Give them bad positions. Give them good positions. Give them unhealthy positions. Give them great positions. Mix it up and get them great at that. Don't leave it up to the body because the brain's a computer. And it may say on this one day, I ain't feeling too well, right? I'm going to hold that position a little bit too long. And that's all I need to get hit. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
When you got athletes that cannot move their toes anymore, you have that NFL athlete that only can move 2 toes. How are you rapidly restoring that toe movement, that toe connection in the central nervous system? And say, like, let's fire.
Right.
Get those 4th and 5th toes going so we got the lateral arch firing so that we're not breaking anything.
Right. 250,000 neurological receptors. They know what they want to do. It's the problem is you're Chef Ramsay cooking with gloves.
Yes, correct.
You see what I mean? Yeah. You got to take the shoes off. You got to take the shoes off. It's got to be, to me, it's got to be a main part of the protocols. Like how that's like, you got to look at it just like your hands. Would you throw a fastball and stop your fingers like this? You don't throw change-ups the rest of your career? You see what I mean? The toes are the same way. They're jointed the same way. Why do we look at it so differently? You see what I mean? I'm not saying I got all the answers. I'm just raising, because some of you guys are going to do research and you'll probably come up with something better than what I got. But I'm giving this away because we need to at least be able to look at this and say, hey, he's wrong or right, or we can come to consistency. We need a little of this, a little of this. I don't know everything. But I will say this. I'm not taking a chance until I know for sure.
So how would you deal with injury? Because I know Troy Polamalu did this with Marianovic.
Right, with Marinovich. And let me tell you this real quick before I get off. This is the Marinovich system. I learned this firsthand from them. So I learned from Gary Marinovich, right? Gary has been the pusher of this system for the last 10 years. He's not getting the credit he actually deserves, right? He's 84 years old. And everybody only knows Marv, but Gary's really been the one to push this system to the next level. This system was stagnant for a couple years, and he's really been the one. And I just followed suit, and then, really, I had to come to terms with, I didn't really know the principle. I was just doing a bunch of drills. See, I have a very high confidence now because I know the principle is 100% correct. I trust the principle. You see what I mean?
So, I'm a big believer, obviously, out there.
Right.
But the sports, unless you're on a mat, you're playing sports in some kind of shoe.
Right.
So, when do you have athletes put those cleats back on, put the shoes back on to get that adaptation back into?
I do. Yeah, and I think it's necessary. I think it is.
Time for you and your athletes.
Maybe once a week when we go out to the field, when we go out to the track, that's a time. And then I'll tell them, hey, big toe, because I know their flaws. Just because the shoes on doesn't mean anything. See what I mean? We ought to be training athletes to be in paper-thin cleats. You shouldn't be do track runners wrap ankles? You see what I mean? And so what we have to understand is you get a basketball player, a guy got hurt because he had insoles in. I said, dude, you don't need insoles. You train your feet now. Your feet are different. And he actually got a hairline fracture because he was wearing insoles from the season before. Now he's back already. The doc said his foot healed like crazy because he's been doing this kind of stuff. I said, keep the insoles out of your feet, let your feet do what they're meant to do, and get a thinner shoe. You see what I mean? That's all it is. Like we don't really understand, right? If you start looking at your foot like hands, it'd make more sense. Even though that gloves may protect you, are you going to cook the best or feel the best with them on? So even if I use gloves, majority of my cooking is still going to be done hands-free. I'm going to touch. I'm going to feel. Even through the shoe. I have to feel impact through the shoe. So if my neurological receptors aren't great, right, how can I feel through the shoe? You have to be off the chart. This girl is off the charts right now as far as neurological touch. Not everything. There's things she got to work on. There's actually I'm probably gonna be hollering at some people too because I want some other people to get their hands on her. Right? I'm not a track coach. I stay in my lane. I'm very big on staying in one lane, and that's how I got good at this. I never wavered. I stayed one thing. I said I'm gonna make this one thing better than anything else. That's all I focus on. Is this one thing for 10 years. You see what I mean? Has it crossed my mind? Hell yeah, it's crossed my mind. I love lifting. I got an L4 and L5 to prove it. I love it. I love that shit. I still go in there and back hurting, whatever. You know what I mean? I love it. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronald Coleman. Those are some of my idols. You know what I mean? But that's their sport. This is ours. Where's the system for our sport? Where did power cleaning come from? Right? Not to say it doesn't not help anything, because I'd be lying to say lifting don't help anything. That's not what I'm saying. But is there a pattern you could be doing or a move you could be doing that would make you a much more exceptional athlete in what you do on a daily basis that's much better than a power clean? It's tomatoes. I don't need to do this, why do it? If this is way better. If this has proven to be way better than a squat, why would you go squat? It's a waste of time. So that's what I'm saying. UT one year had to shut their power clean program down because they were lifting so obsessively, and they had like 3 torn wrists in the beginning of all season. Well, I mean, to flip backwards? Do I throw a baseball backwards? I mean, we have to look at this stuff. We have to look at it, you know what I mean? And some of that is gross output, right? Yeah, you are going to build some absolute strength. And I'm not saying that ain't, because it matters, right? But all I'm saying is it might not matter as much for a sprinter. Maybe it does, maybe it don't, but I think we have to look at every situation separately because we are problem solvers at the end of the day. Yes, sir.
So your youth athletes, are you keeping them more strictly on the turf, or are you putting them on the boxes like with single leg jumps? That's kind of something that we try to not do too much of.
Right.
Because
it's a risk factor. I wouldn't take the risk.
Yep.
You live to train another day. You got to be smart.
Yep.
Are there athletes that do that are younger? I got 10th ranked tennis player at 12s in the country. She can do that. She's been with me since she was 10. At that point, I wasn't even training athletes that young, and I'm probably about to shut the door on it now because I'm getting a little overwhelmed at the gym. I got one other guy, but yeah, I don't strength train them with any weight. I really don't strength train them pretty much at all. Because if they can master their feet over the next 2 years, who gives a damn? By the time they're 14, that chain of action is going to be so violent, and they can do so many things to catch up in strength, it's going to be ridiculous. But if they're not in alignment and balance, which is really hard to keep a tennis player in alignment if you know anything about it, because they're going to hit 7,000 forehands and 3 backhands. So they're all out of whack, right? And they overtrain. So it's one of those things. Look at the sport. Like if it's softball, you know they're always turning one way. You got to start looking at those things and seeing if you see some posture issues, right? Sometimes a single foot drill on a low impact scale, like something very low to ground, kind of like she was doing, can be a low risk move if they have the adaptive qualities in the dorsiflexion, right? So
Doesn't have the stability. Would you put them on the wall and they're doing the fast stuff like holding the wall?
there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, you're touching. Yeah. Yeah, you're touching. You don't.
Looking for touches too, like with the youth kids, it's like to get that, make sure they're firing.
I'm looking for touches if they need touches. Because if they need output, some of them people don't need touches. Some people are too delicate off the ground. Some people spend too much time on the ground. We have to assess which one we're dealing with, you know what I mean? And then correlate the drill to that. If I'm a dandelion going to the ground, you need some ba, 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 ba. If I can't absorb very well, you need some higher jumps to work on absorbing eccentric load and reversing it. It's all about the reversal. So whatever you need to do in that, you have to calibrate that based on that, right? Was there one more thing we wanted to do? You done a great job. I'm trying to think of. It's just towel scrunch. So you'll just sit down. But it's just like in therapy. Here's the thing. You're not in therapy. Remember that. Don't send me a video doing this. You're not in therapy. You're an athlete. Bop, 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 bop. Yeah, you can feel it. You can do it right now. You'll probably start cramping. Neurological cramp, because you don't train the foot enough. Right?
So I got a question for you. So
I got answers.
Average training session for y'all is going on like 2 hours, right?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, a youth group is 1.5 hours. A pro group is about 2 hours, but that's because I want more rest time.
When those ground contacts slow up,
Oh, get the hell out of my gym.
then what?
Get the hell out of my gym. Oh, I send them home. Oh, yeah.
Without falling off for 2 hours. But then
Yeah, because remember, 20 minutes, first 20 to 15 minutes is going to be footwork, okay? Now, every odd day is a power day. So you'll do footwork for power, you do footwork for technique. The power days are more like calf raisers, weighted pogos, things like that on the cat, things like that. Low impact jumps with a strength behind it, right? Towel scrunches, heavy towel scrunches, we do all that stuff every odd day, right? She's usually off Wednesday, and I gave her 2 days off a couple weeks ago. I can eyeball it. If she ain't where I want her, she's out of there. So we try to go, and I took a bunch of notes on the other guys. I'm probably we go what, 2 days a week running? Yeah. About 2 days? 2 days, sometimes 3 for technical stuff, to see if she can hold form, things like that. Not too strenuous of a workout, not too many reps, not too much time out there, right? On the lifts, we have to watch those, and jump training days, you have to watch those. Because if you jump train, you're pretty much taking a day off the next day. It's hard on your body. Hard on your body. So, like I said, with a top-end sprinter, man, an inch matters. Don't bring that athlete back to the gym and then beat them up for another day, and then, they're going to be working at 70%. What am I going to do with that?
what are you including in those? Because you gave a number of when we're doing the repeat jumps. 45 to 90 is the number.
45 to 90 is a capsule.
What's included in that? What movements are included in that?
So we'll go through a few. That's a good question. So we'll go through a few basics. So that is a repeat box jump, right? Look at that like anything else. You jump hurdles, progression, right? So we'll go through a hurdle progression. Sometimes we'll do hurdles with boxes. It's all about ground contact, though. Don't worry too much about height. Some days I go low, sometimes I go high.
So height is what you're including in that?
I am, because we will build through height to see how they relax and take off. Won't do it that much. So they'll get a peak jump round, about 2 of those, to build up velocity. But I'm going to tell you what I really get out of that. You know what I get the most out of that? Is relaxation. Because, like, in my mind, when I see something get bigger, what do I want to do at the end of a race? Right? I'm trying to reach to the line. I'm trying to really get there. It's really big. I got to get over it. Right? And that's wrong. Most of them hit the hurdle. All of them. And you know why? Because to get over that hurdle at peak speed, it goes back to what? The principle. If it's taking me longer than 0.15 to get off the ground, at the end of that, I'm a weaker jumper. Trampoline just failed you. And that's why they're hitting the stick. I did it one day. I just let them jump for about 2 rounds, 3 rounds. Everyone hit the last stick. I said, the only reason you're hitting the last stick is because you're trying to give more to get over that, and you already have all the kinetic energy you need to reverse. You just got to reverse it fast enough. But you're spending all the time on the ground because you're really trying to dig into it. And if you just go, whoop, you're over it easy. Every one of them went through it, am I lying?
Yeah.
And every one of them get over it. It's ground contact. It's not jumping. It's running. I don't see jumping. I see running. That ground is hot. That ground is hot, and I mean it. Like, I mean it. I preach it to them. It is hot. Get off of it.
For those of us, like, we couldn't obviously throw everything out that we're doing and change everything tomorrow. If you could only give us one piece that you would really think would be important or kind of move the needle to add in.
Slant board work, pipe work for sure. But I would go slant board work even over that with you guys trying to understand where to land. You got to delegate that. Some people need to be lower in dorsiflexion. Some people don't. And you got to figure out who that guy is and who it ain't. It may not be their character. I'm still figuring that out with this one. You see what I mean? Like, you have to know the character. That other guy I was telling about, Art's like, he's going to always be a deep runner. He's deep. And he can respond, and he gets a lot of force out of it, right? But he's an attacker. He loves the ground contact. You know what I mean? So he gets out of it extremely fast. Somebody else, more delicate, might not be a great thing. You know? So you have to look, like I said, you're still in the end of the day. It's still problem solving. But if I can give you anything, I'd go with the foot touches, the drills you're seeing here. You have to have that. One thing I can't show you, I don't have to show you, is pool training. With pool, swimming pool. Never run in a pool, never swim in a pool. Only speed movements. I take the segmented movement, show them kind of how it would look in a pool. Like, do a kickback. I'll show you. So something like this. This is where we're going in the water. So we do a kickback. Ready? Go. Quarter, half, full, quarter, half, kill. That's what we're doing in the water. Hip rotation. Ready? Yeah. Ready? Go. Full, half, quarter, full, halfway in, halfway out, left hand, right hand, kill. We're doing that in the water. And you got to relax in the water. Water will kick your ass if you don't. It will destroy you. You'll be out of there in 10 minutes. There was a picture of Deki Asumi, what was his name? Deki? It was a picture, man. So I think it was Mansour. I might be wrong. But he was training with Nick Curson, back when Nick Curson was big at this. He did a pool workout, threw up in 5 minutes. It's neurologically shocking. You know what I mean? And then the other things, we're doing a lot of like twitch work in the water. Let's show them that real quick. This is the last thing I'm going to show you. I'm going to get you guys out here. Get in the front here. Show it from the side. So we're doing a lot of twitch work. We do this on land and in the water. We're ready. Go! Left side, right side, all four. Right hand, left leg. Left hand, right leg, all four. Kill. All right? Yep.
Do you have disciples or mentees that work under you? That
I do.
Because this is,
One.
you're a fucking chef.
Yeah.
Right? And you know how to add the salt and stuff.
Right.
And not everybody's just going to step into
Right. My assistant is 4 years in.
Okay.
It's about mastery with this,
Yeah,
and he's finally getting it. He's finally got it. Am I lying, Stan? Yeah. But I didn't like him at first. I wanted to fire his I wanted to fire, like, this guy ain't got no talent. And I was thinking in my head, and he just stuck around. I was like, dude, he do got talent. And then he started really internalizing it, and he got bodies. You can't get certified without bodies, guys. Would you trust a surgeon that done one brain surgery and he got a tumor he got to take out of your head on a vital organ or artery? Nope. Right? You need bodies.
So, Brian, the one thing I think everybody here can take away, like, where do I get started with this?
Right.
Let them know about your 0.15.
Right. So real quick, and thank you. Okay, so I have a couple things. My business partner gonna call you. Yeah, so he's the business guy. I just love this stuff. You know what I mean? I let him handle that because I'm a teddy bear with that stuff. Listen, I would start, I'm not going to tell you to start and buy, because my systems are high ticket. I can't do them at low ticket. There's too much value there. And when I get a person, they're automatically signed up to our school. And that's where I want you in my school. Because in my school, we can talk every week. You can show me your videos. I can tell you where we're going right and wrong. Now, on an evaluation tip, you're going to have to come see me. Because you got to feel, and I got to feel what you're feeling and see, okay, this is wrong, this is why you didn't feel this is the way you position your hands. Even on the hamstring test, I didn't say anything. I did the first one wrong. So I just pushed down on him, right? The second one, I got in position. That's supposed to be done at a 90-degree angle in its body weight. That way you're not pushing through. So I did that wrong. You see what I mean? So I'm just letting you know, like, right. I did that test with Gary 2 years in a row. We were 95 percentile. I missed one. We had the same numbers. So it's been taught. It's a very hard thing. Even with the foot right now, I'm probably the only one in my gym that's like, you're going to get a perfect score with, it's going to be pretty much there. Stan's getting there. He's really close. He's an elite trainer, though.
And that's 4 years.
He's been 4 years, yeah. Not to say that all 4 of those years he was just in the gym consistently. Yeah, the last 2 years he's really been in the gym a lot, full time this last year. So it took some time. I'm not saying it's going to take you 4 years. Right? You may have talent. You may have more talent than me. So that could go really fast. But some of you guys that are already kind of, especially you high-level trainers already, and you aspiring guys, it's not a, I think if you can evaluate, you're more of an asset than you are if you just know a bunch of stuff. Because, like, if I can't problem solve, like, what are we doing? And I think that's a big part of the problem. We can't problem solve. Like, we don't even know where to start. Y'all tell me where to start with me. Where do we start with you? Expensive thing. And I give my all on there. I'm not on there sugarcoating. You ask a question, you don't get an answer. I'm going to show you my athletes, what we do in the gym. You can share screens, show your athletes. It's like a free Zoom. So you're getting that every week. And what we're trying to push the narrative on that, like, if you can learn the principles over the next 2 months, it's going to highly advance you in what you're doing. But we have to understand, like, all of this has to be looked at in the sense of athleticism. What do you see happening in the next 10 years? Because some of the running stuff we do now was looked down upon 20 years ago. Am I lying? You work with Lewis. Some of the stuff we're doing now, they would have cashed you with, killed you, hit you with stones and got you out of there, right? You'd have been cast out 25 years ago. And now we realize, oh, that stuff was messed up. What are we going to be saying 20 years from now? It's foresight. Tony Robbins said most people don't lose their business because of lack of knowledge or an idea or motivation. They lose it for lack of foresight. And when you can't see ahead, you criticize until you realize, oh, damn, I was the dumb one. And now your ass is behind, and now you're paying me. Last story, last one. Bob Baffert. Anybody know that guy? Horse racer. Bob Baffert. Bob Baffert came into horse racing. Check this out. Came into horse racing. What people were doing with horse training at that time, I got inside information on this from a horse guy. They would take the horses and you go through a conditioning phase. You'd run long distance. You get the horse in shape because if a horse breaks their leg, they're done. So you get them in shape, you run them uphill, you do all the strength stuff, and then you can progress them into speed. Baffert said, damn that, I'm just going to run them fast day one. He starts running them downhill. He's overspeeding them. Everything's peak performance, short distance. And he is worth $300 million now.
A lot of money in the horses.
A lot of money in humans. Because that's what you need to do with humans too. It's a brain facilitating a body. That's what I want to leave you with. Love it. Thank you.